A true leader does not see himself as a leader, but becomes one by the quality of his actions and the honesty of his intent. I'm going to repeat that for you. He or she becomes one by the quality of their actions and the honesty of their intent. I can't tell you the amount of mistakes I've made, but people are generally stuck because they know I made the decisions for the right reasons, and I'm sure you've made mistakes. But if they feel you've done it for the right reasons, it's a whole different outcome when things go bad to when they know there was an agenda, when there was a bias, and all the other stuff that goes with it. True leaders are like eagles. They don't flock. You find them one at a time. One of the reasons that, I said recently, Alan Langer was one of the all-time great players I ever coached and champion bloke. But for him, leadership's difficult because he likes to be liked. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all like to be liked. But it's difficult for you to lead when you need to be popular, when you need to be with the group all the time. We all need friends and we need friendships. Leaders need them as well. But you have to understand the difference between the true leaders and the leaders. So for him, coaching is always going to be difficult because it requires a lot of tough decisions, as teaching does. And he'll struggle with those all of his life. And perhaps I give you that little insight because maybe that's things that you struggle with. And I was talking to a teacher this morning, he said sometimes he's a little bit soft. Well, I can tell you there's no bigger softy than me. But I know I do them a disservice when I don't make the right decision and when I don't carry it through and when I give in to my feelings. And I go home and I'm extremely disappointed in myself. And I don't like that feeling because I know I've let them down. I know I should have made the decision, and it's hard on them sometimes, but I know it's going to make them better. And I remember a boy I sacked two of them actually at the Broncos, and he's back playing with me now at the Dragons. He rang me up last year and asked me could he come and play back with me. He said, I need you. He said, you give me guidelines. He said, you keep an eye on me. He said, and you make me more disciplined than what I can be myself. And I thought, at the time when I sacked him, I was more upset than he was. But I knew I had to do that because to keep him any longer was not going to get where he wanted to go. And we'd gone as far as we could. And you have to make those choices. And you've got to realise when they're wasting your time. My friend has a saying, he says, don't start pissing on me boots and tell me it's raining. It's a good line to remember when you're dealing with people. Okay? You don't want to be used up. You don't want them to see, kindness for weakness. Repeat that for you. You don't want them to misunderstand when you're being kind to someone that they see it as a weakness and they start to use you up. That's the one thing I won't tolerate. I'll tolerate a lot of other things in people, but I will not tolerate that. And sometimes, when you make that hard call, it affects you more than anybody else. But you need to make that hard call. In 1996, at the beginning of the season, I said to the Broncos, we're underperforming, a lot of talent, and there was a lot of players there who had been there for a number of years. And I said to them in a general conversation, team meeting, I said, guys, at the end of the season, if we don't get where I think we should go with the amount of talent we have here, I said, some of you will not be here in 1997. Didn't make a big deal about it. Statement was made. I found I was wasting a lot of my time on players that were senior players in the team who should have been more accountable. And, as you know in teaching, the young teachers coming in, they need more of your time than the ones that have been doing it for